One day, the people who ignored you will notice you. The people who laughed at your dreams will ask how you did it. The people who doubted your potential will act like they always believed in you. That's how life works. But listen carefully. This story is not about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. Because the moment your life becomes controlled by other people's opinions, you stop living your life and start living theirs. The goal was never revenge. The goal was growth. The goal was never validation. The goal was transformation. And sometimes, the greatest gift life can give you is doubt. Nobody talks about this. Everyone hates being doubted. Everyone hates being underestimated. Everyone hates being overlooked. But what if those experiences are actually gifts? What if the people who doubted you accidentally made you stronger? Think about it. Comfort rarely creates greatness. Struggle does. Pressure does. Adversity does. And doubt? Doubt can become fuel if you learn how to use it. Most people allow doubt to destroy them. They hear criticism, and they shrink. They hear negativity, and they retreat. They hear someone say, "You can't do it." And eventually, they start believing it. That's the tragedy. Not that people doubted them. That they agreed. Never do that. Never hand someone else the authority to define your limits. Because people judge you based on who you are today, not who you can become tomorrow. That's why vision is so important. The people around you see your current situation. You must see your future. The people around you see your struggles. You must see your potential. The people around you see your mistakes. You must see your growth. Because if you don't believe in your future, nobody else will. History is filled with people who were doubted. People who were rejected. People who were underestimated. Not because they lacked talent. Because their vision was bigger than other people's imagination. Most people can only understand what they have already seen. That's why extraordinary goals sound impossible to ordinary minds. It's not their fault. They simply cannot see what you see. And that's okay. They don't need to. Your responsibility is not convincing them. Your responsibility is becoming the person you're capable of becoming. That's it. The moment you understand this, everything changes. You stop wasting energy seeking approval. You stop wasting energy explaining yourself. You stop wasting energy trying to win arguments. Instead, you start working. You start building. You start improving. Quietly. Consistently. Relentlessly. Because success speaks a language that excuses never will. Results end debates. Results silence criticism. Results make explanations unnecessary. That's why your focus should never be on proving people wrong. Focus on becoming stronger. Focus on becoming better. Focus on becoming more disciplined. Because when your standards rise, your life rises with them. The truth is, most people who doubt you are not trying to hurt you. They're projecting their own limitations, their own fears, their own insecurities. They look at your dream and imagine what would happen if they tried it. Then they assume the same outcome applies to you. It doesn't. Their limits are not your limits. Their fears are not your fears. Their story is not your story. Remember that. Because if you spend your life listening to people who never chased their dreams, you'll eventually abandon yours too. Protect your vision. Protect your focus. Protect your future. Not everyone deserves access to it. Sometimes growth requires distance. Distance from negativity. Distance from distraction. Distance from people who constantly remind you of who you used to be. Because you are not here to stay the same. You are here to evolve. To grow. To become. And the people who doubt you, use them. Not as enemies. As reminders. Reminders that your belief must be stronger than their doubt. Your vision must be stronger than their criticism. Your discipline must be stronger than their opinions. Because one day, the person they doubted will no longer exist. A stronger version will take their place. A wiser version. A more disciplined version. A more capable version. And when that day comes, you won't need revenge. You won't need validation. You won't need applause. Because you'll have something far more valuable. Proof. Proof that you never gave up on yourself. Proof that your belief was stronger than their doubt. Proof that you became exactly who you decided to become. And that's a victory nobody can take away from you. One of the most expensive mistakes you can make is needing everyone to believe in you. Because if your confidence depends on other people, your confidence will disappear the moment they stop clapping. Think about how many dreams die this way. Not because they were impossible. Because the dreamer needed permission. Permission to start. Permission to try. Permission to fail. Permission to become something greater. But nobody can give you that. You must give it to yourself. The truth is, most people are waiting for validation. They're waiting for someone to say, "You can do it. You're good enough. I believe in you." And when that support doesn't come, they stop. That's dangerous. Because the people who change their lives learn a different lesson. They learn how to move forward alone. They learn how to trust themselves. They learn how to continue even when nobody understands the vision. That's real confidence. Not confidence because everyone supports you. Confidence because you support yourself. Most people misunderstand confidence. They think confidence comes first. It doesn't. Action comes first. Confidence follows. Every promise you keep to yourself builds confidence. Every difficult task you complete builds confidence. Every challenge you face builds confidence. Confidence is earned, not given. That's why approval is such a trap. Approval feels good. For a moment. But it's temporary. Today they support you. Tomorrow they criticize you. Today they cheer. Tomorrow they doubt. Today they admire. Tomorrow they judge. People change. Opinions change. Crowds change. If your identity depends on them, you'll constantly be lost. That's why you must build your identity on something stronger. Your standards. Your discipline. Your character. Those things don't change when people change. Those things remain. The people who accomplish extraordinary things understand this. They stop asking, "What do people think about me?" and start asking, "What do I think about myself?" That's the question that matters. Can you trust yourself? Can you rely on yourself? Can you look in the mirror with respect? Because at the end of the day, that's the only approval you'll ever need. Your own. The dangerous thing about seeking approval is that it makes you weak. You start adjusting your goals, adjusting your behavior, adjusting your dreams. Not based on what's right, based on what's popular. And popularity has never created greatness. Greatness often looks strange in the beginning. It looks unrealistic. It looks impossible. It looks unreasonable. That's why people doubt it. Because extraordinary goals don't make sense to ordinary thinking. The moment you decide to do something uncommon, expect misunderstanding. Expect criticism. Expect doubt. Not because you're wrong, Because you're different. And different always attracts attention. The mistake is taking that attention personally. Don't. People are entitled to their opinions. But their opinions do not determine your future. Your actions do. Your discipline does. Your consistency does. That's where your power lives. Not in convincing people. In becoming undeniable. There is a huge difference. Convincing requires words. Becoming undeniable requires work. Words are cheap. Work is powerful. Words create promises. Work creates proof. And proof is impossible to argue with. That's why the strongest response to doubt is progress. Not anger. Not arguments. Not revenge. Progress. Every day you improve. You win. Every day you stay disciplined. You win. Every day you move closer to your goals. You win. Even if nobody notices. Even if nobody believes. Even if nobody supports you. Because growth does not require an audience. It requires commitment. And commitment often means walking alone. For a while. Not forever. Just long enough to become stronger. Long enough to become wiser. Long enough to become the person your future requires. One day, people will notice the results. One day, people will see the transformation. One day, people will wonder how you changed. But by then, their approval won't matter anymore. Because the person who once needed validation will no longer exist. A stronger version will have replaced them. A version that trusts itself. A version that believes in itself. A version that no longer asks for permission to grow. That's freedom. Real freedom. The freedom to pursue your vision regardless of who understands it. The freedom to stay committed regardless of who supports it. The freedom to believe in yourself before the world believes in you. Master that. And nobody's doubt will ever have power over you again. Pain changes people. That's a fact. The question is, what will it change you into? Because every person who has ever been doubted carries a wound, a memory, a moment they never forgot. The moment someone laughed. The moment someone said you weren't good enough. The moment someone looked at your dream and called it impossible. Those moments hurt. Pretending they don't is a lie. Words have power. Rejection has power. Failure has power. The mistake is believing that pain only exists to hurt you. Sometimes pain arrives to build you. Sometimes pain arrives to wake you up. Sometimes pain arrives because comfort has kept you asleep for too long. Think about the hardest moments of your life. The moments that tested you. The moments that broke your heart. The moments that made you question yourself. You survived them. And because you survived them, you became someone different. Stronger. Wiser. More resilient. Pain has a strange gift. It reveals who you really are. When life is easy, everyone looks strong. Everyone looks confident. Everyone looks disciplined. But difficulty exposes the truth. Difficulty reveals character. Difficulty reveals standards. Difficulty reveals commitment. That's why challenges matter. They show you what's real. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid pain. Avoid struggle. Avoid discomfort. Avoid failure. But the strongest people learn a different lesson. They learn how to use pain. Not waste it. Use it. Every criticism becomes fuel. Every rejection becomes fuel. Every setback becomes fuel. Every doubt becomes fuel. Because they understand something powerful. Pain is energy. And energy can either destroy you or drive you forward. The choice belongs to you. You can spend years being angry, years being bitter, years replaying old conversations, years trying to prove someone wrong. Or you can take that energy and build something. Build discipline. Build confidence. Build strength. Build a future. That's the difference between victims and victors. Victims ask, "Why did this happen to me?" Victors ask, "How can I use this?" One stays stuck in the past. The other creates a future. One becomes weaker. The other becomes stronger. The event may be the same. The response changes everything. Think about the people who doubted you. Think about the people who underestimated you. Now imagine giving them control over your future. Every time you quit, you hand them power. Every time you surrender, you hand them power. Every time you stop believing in yourself, you hand them power. Don't do that. Never do that. Because your life is too valuable to be controlled by someone else's opinion. Your future is too important. Your potential is too important. Your purpose is too important. Instead, take the pain. Take the disappointment. Take the rejection. And put it to work. Let it push you. Let it sharpen you. Let it strengthen you. Not for revenge. For growth. Because revenge is temporary. Growth is permanent. Revenge focuses on other people. Growth focuses on yourself. Revenge keeps you attached to the past. Growth creates a better future. Choose growth. Every time. The truth is, some of the best things that will ever happen to you will begin as painful experiences. The rejection that forces you to improve. The failure that teaches you discipline. The setback that reveals your strength. The doubt that ignites your ambition. At first, they feel unfair. Later, they become blessings. That's why you must trust the process. Trust that every challenge is teaching something. Trust that every obstacle is preparing something. Trust that every difficult season is building something. Even if you can't see it yet. Because one day, you'll look back. And you'll realize that the pain you hated most created the person you're proudest of. The criticism made you stronger. The rejection made you tougher. The doubt made you hungrier. And the struggle made you unstoppable. That's when everything changes. Because now the pain no longer controls you. Now it serves you. Now it works for you. Now it becomes part of your story. Not the story of someone who gave up. The story of someone who grew stronger every time life tried to break them. And that's a story worth living. One of the most powerful things you can learn is how to stay silent while you build. Because not every goal needs an announcement. Not every dream needs an audience. Not every move needs approval. The truth is, some of the greatest transformations happen in silence. Far away from attention. Far away from applause. Far away from validation. That's where real growth lies. Most people talk too much. They announce every plan. They explain every goal. They seek encouragement before they've earned results. And when the excitement disappears, so does the effort. That's why so many dreams never leave the starting line. People become addicted to talking about success instead of building it. But winners understand something different. They understand that energy is precious. And every time you talk about your future, you spend a little of that energy. That's why disciplined people often move quietly. Not because they lack ambition. Because they're focused. Focused people don't need attention. They need progress. Think about a seed. When it's planted, nothing happens on the surface. No applause. No celebration. No recognition. Yet beneath the ground, everything is happening. Roots are growing. Strength is developing. A foundation is being built. That's exactly how success works. For a long time, nobody sees anything. Nobody notices the discipline. Nobody notices the sacrifices. Nobody notices the work. And that's okay. Because the goal isn't to be noticed. The goal is to become stronger. Too many people confuse attention with achievement. They're not the same thing. Attention is easy. Achievement is difficult. Attention lasts a moment. Achievement lasts a lifetime. Attention can be bought. Achievement must be earned. Choose achievement. Every time. Because one day, the results will speak louder than any words ever could. The strongest people understand this. They don't waste time proving themselves. They spend time improving themselves. While others are talking, they're working. While others are complaining, they're learning. While others are seeking recognition, they're building. That's why they eventually pull ahead. Not because they're lucky. Because they're consistent. Consistency is powerful. Not for one day. Not for 1 week. For years. The problem is, most people quit before consistency has time to work. They want immediate results. Immediate recognition. Immediate success. Life rarely works that way. Growth is slow. Improvement is slow. Transformation is slow. Until suddenly, it isn't. One day people notice. One day people ask questions. One day people wonder what changed. What they don't realize is that the change started years earlier. In silence. During the days nobody cared. During the nights nobody saw. During the moments when quitting would have been easy. That's where the future was built. That's where greatness was created. Not in public. In private. That's why silence is a superpower. Silence protects focus. Silence protects discipline. Silence protects momentum. The less you talk, the more time you have to execute. The less you explain, the more energy you have to improve. The less you seek approval, the more independent you become. And independence is powerful. Because when your motivation comes from within, nobody can take it away. Not criticism. Not rejection. Not doubt. Not failure. You keep moving. You keep building. You keep growing. Whether people notice or not. That's true confidence. Not confidence because people support you. Confidence because you've seen your own work. You've seen your own discipline. You've seen your own sacrifices. You know what you're capable of. That's enough. More than enough. The people who doubted you may never understand the journey. And that's fine. They don't need to. Your responsibility is not to explain your vision. Your responsibility is to execute it. Quietly. Consistently. Relentlessly. Until one day, the life you're building becomes impossible to hide. Until one day, the results speak for themselves. Until one day, the same people who doubted you have no choice but to respect what you've become. Not because you argued. Not because you defended yourself. Because you worked. Because you stayed disciplined. Because you won in silence. And sometimes, that's the loudest victory of all. There is something powerful about a comeback. Not because people love success. Because people love transformation. They remember who you used to be. They remember your struggles. They remember your failures. They remember the version of you that wasn't ready. And that's exactly why your comeback becomes unforgettable. Because nobody expects dramatic change from someone they've already judged. Once people place you in a box, they assume you'll stay there. The quiet one. The average one. The weak one. The dreamer. The person who never quite makes it. And for a while, maybe you believed them. Maybe you started seeing yourself through their eyes. Maybe their doubt became your doubt. Maybe their limitations became your limitations. But then something changed. You got tired. Not physically. Mentally. You got tired of breaking promises to yourself. You got tired of settling. You got tired of living beneath your potential. You got tired of watching life pass by while you stayed the same. That's where every comeback begins. Not with motivation. With a decision. A decision that enough is enough. A decision that your future deserves more. A decision that your old identity no longer fits. Because every comeback requires a death. The death of excuses. The death of procrastination. The death of self-doubt. The death of the version of you that keeps choosing comfort over growth. Something has to end. Before something better can begin. That's the part nobody sees. People see the comeback. They don't see the transformation. They see the confidence. They don't see the insecurity you fought through. They see the results. They don't see the years of discipline. They see the victory. They don't see the battles. But you do. You remember every difficult morning. Every lonely night. Every setback. Every sacrifice. Every moment when quitting seemed easier. That's what makes the comeback meaningful. Not the destination. The journey. The person you became along the way. Most people think a comeback is about proving others wrong. It isn't. A real comeback is proving to yourself that you're capable of more. More discipline. More strength. More courage. More growth. Because the biggest victory isn't external. It's internal. It's waking up one day and realizing you are no longer the person you used to be. The habits changed. The standards changed. The mindset changed. The identity changed. And once identity changes, everything changes. That's why your comeback doesn't happen overnight. It's built quietly. One decision at a time. One habit at a time. One disciplined day at a time. Until eventually, the gap between who you were and who you've become becomes impossible to ignore. People notice. People ask questions. People wonder what happened. What happened is simple. You stopped waiting. You stopped complaining. You stopped making excuses. And you started building. That's it. No secret. No shortcut. No magic. Just discipline. Consistency. And time. Those three things create miracles. The people who doubted you won't understand that. They'll look at the result and call it luck. They'll call it timing. They'll call it talent. Because that's easier than admitting what it really was. Work. Years of work. Years of growth. Years of becoming. But here's the best part. By the time your comeback arrives, you won't even care what they think anymore. Because the person who needed their approval no longer exists. The person who needed validation no longer exists. The person who doubted themselves no longer exists. A stronger version took their place. A version that trusts themselves. A version that respects themselves. A version that understands their worth. And that's why the comeback is so powerful. Not because the world finally sees you. Because you finally see yourself. The way you should have seen yourself all along. Capable. Resilient. disciplined, powerful, and just getting started. Because the greatest comeback isn't returning to who you were. It's becoming someone you've never been before.